Hi everybody, Cheaply Chic, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to share a project with you and also the announcement of my next collection. Oh my goodness, it's been a long time. If you follow me in my Facebook group, I've given a few updates along the way. I found that that's really one of the easiest ways for me to just give a shout out that I'm working on something or that things are in the works. So if you aren't part of that Facebook group, I will leave that link in the description box down below so you can check it out. But I definitely needed to hop back on YouTube, of course, and just give you guys a little bit of an update. And it was definitely time to do another crafty project. So I'm here to do both of those things today. This collection will be released next Friday, February 4th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's noon Eastern Standard Time. So this collection is called Fearless, and I have a lot of things that well, I shouldn't say a lot of things. Some things that'll be adjusted and changing along the way concerning the collection now that I live in Florida. And my mom, who helped me all the time, I can't fly her down here every month, even though I would love to, isn't here to help me anymore. So these kits are probably going to be released every 6 weeks now, every month and a half instead. So I won't exactly be calling them a monthly collection just because that I have a lot of projects going on outside of putting these yeah, I moved here recently, so I have a lot going on and I'm doing it all alone. So about every 6 weeks. So just making a mental adjustment with that. And I'll of course be sharing along the way now that I'm going to be getting back in the flow of everything. So this is the Fearless collection. I used the new Maggie Holmes Market Square paper. I loved that collection. I love the color mixture of the pink and the brown. When I saw this paper collection come out, I thought, oh my goodness, what can I do with that? And the fact that there's hot air balloons, I thought this is the perfect time to do a collection with circus and fair themed items and anything along that line. So as this progressed, this collection became Fearless. I was able to include a lot of fun things this time around. So I'll be sharing this all on Friday, but I shared a lot of things like there's hot air balloons in here. There's a blue prize ribbon for first place. There's some vintage circus tickets here. Some vintage game pieces, the typical junk journal things, and then, yeah, just some other fun elements. But these colors are lovely, and I had a lot of fun putting this collection together. So be on the lookout for that video on Friday. I'll share it around 11 a.m. so everybody has a chance to see everything in the collection and everything that will be in the Etsy shop at noon. In the process of getting ready for this collection, I've watched a lot of videos lately. I had been watching some videos from Joey, and I will link her channel and specifically her video that inspired me to create what I'm about to show you guys down below. So be sure to check her out. Her channel is so much fun. She's so into collaging. I love her style. I'm kind of mystified by it because it's so different than mine. So I always enjoy watching things like that and trying out projects from other people. So that's what I'm going to do today. And I already got started here, but let me show you first what I created following her process video. And I will say mine do not look identical to hers. Of course, we have different supplies and all of that, but I did try to stick to her system as much as possible. So these are collage strips. That's what she calls them. And she has started with a base that's a lot like this, glued book pages all put together. And I will do this in a process video here. In this video, I'll speed it up so I can fit everything in together. But these are the collage strips that I created following her process. They were so much fun because one thing I like about Joey is she enjoys multiple processes in her projects. And something that I appreciate about that is the fact that I feel like I'm using my supplies, some that I don't reach for all the time. You know what I mean? She uses a lot of paints. She's always using her paints. I barely use my paints, but I love them. That kind of thing. I also made some shorter ones. This is where I kind of veered off from her project a little bit because I wanted to cut mine down to an 8.5 inch size already, because if you follow my channel, you know when I'm collaging things, I like it to be the size it's going to be. Someday I'm going to challenge myself and make a big thing, collage it, and then cut it up. That's hard for me. So I like things to be in their final size already. I don't know, that's how my brain works. So that's kind of what I did here. I wanted 8.5 inch strips. So I just kind of used what was left over to create some little things. I don't know, they could go on tags or journaling cards or even down in the corner as a tuck spot. But these were a lot of fun, you guys, and I will link her down below. If you're not following her, which so many of you probably already are, you'll definitely want to go check her out because she is a lot of fun, and I love watching her creative process and listening to her. Okay, so today I'm going to recreate these following her steps, which I did write most of them down in my own shortened version. So I'm going to challenge myself by trying to stick exactly to her steps. I thought that would be a lot of fun for me. And I started already by creating some strips, but I will show you guys really quickly how I created this. I know that Joey has that on her channel as well. I'm not sure on what video that is. She started with a pre-done piece also. So I'm just going to do it super quick so you guys can see how this was done. You could use anything. You could use scrapbook paper. You guys know I love my file folders, manila file folders. You could just cut up one of those. You could cut up some cardstock and start there. But I'm going to use these because I'm following her process. And here's my list, which we will work through in the video. And the other thing is I'm going to style it in a way that I think is going to correlate with the Fearless collection that will be released next week, or probably by the time you're watching this video, the end of this week. So I do have a few leftover pieces from the collection. We'll see. If I don't even have a plan yet, you guys. I don't even know. There's so many different directions you could go with this collection. You could play on the Maggie Holmes colors that the cover here is created with. And it does pull in a lot of those deeper colors if you're somebody who likes to stick with the original color palette of things. Pink and brown are a big thing here. There are a couple pieces of 6x6 paper from that collection back there. So you could stick along those lines. I never really care too much in my journal pages about a color theme. I think every page is its own creation. So, there's regular colors in here, there's softer colors in here. I just think it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm excited. There's something for everybody in here, I think. All right, so I'm going to speed this video up so we can get started. I will start with making a masterboard. I think that's what she calls it. And we'll go from there. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is create my masterboard with book pages. So I'm going to start with a base out of this World Encyclopedia book because I like the size of the pages. And then I have another older book, and I'm going to take those book pages and glue them on both sides of this book page to make a nice thick backing, and then I know it's going to be sturdy. Now here I'm showing you that the first time I did it, I took 2 of these book pages and glued them together to make a bigger masterboard, but this time I'm just going to use 1 sheet since I know I want the width to be somewhere between 8 and 8.5 inches, and I know that I cut them down to 8 inches. So here I'm just grabbing some of these vintage book pages that I like, and I will be gluing them down to this grasshopper page here. Now the glue that I decide to use is Aleene's tacky glue, and the only reason I grabbed it is because I have it in my stash and I never use it for anything. So if you have even just some Elmer's school glue in your stash, feel free. This is the perfect project for that. So I'm just going to be gluing down my book pages here in a random order, but I want to keep my straight edges. I really like the torn look of the book pages also, so I'm trying to put those toward the center of this masterboard. Now I only have this little corner left here at the bottom, so the first time around I grabbed my cutter and made a straight line cut and just added this little piece to it. The next time when I do the pages on the other side, I tear it, and I like that a lot better, but I'm learning. This is only the second time, maybe the third time I've done this. So it is a lot of fun though to make these. So here I finished the first side. I flip over the book page. I have glue all over my fingers, and I'm going to glue down book pages to this opposite side. So in the end, I'm going to have 3 layers of book pages, and that creates a really sturdy masterboard. Now you could do this with anything that you have, you know, a lot of in your stash that you don't use often. Maybe old cardstock or scrapbook paper that you don't really use, or file folders. That's something I love, and I would definitely use a file folder in the center of this project as well. So I'm just going to continue gluing down my book pages. I also want to mention that one of the things I love about using this wet glue is the fact that it takes so long to dry. It's usually what I don't like about it, but with this project it gives me a little extra time to slide the pages around and make sure that that edge around the outside is straight, and I really like that about this glue. Alright, so the second step for Joey in her process is painting the masterboard. Now I will tell you, number one, this is terrifying for me to do on camera. The whole time I was doing it, I was like, oh, do I really have to do this? Do I really have to do this? And I decided, yes, I do. Number one, the collection name is Fearless. So Lynette, suck it up and do what terrifies you. Show everyone how you are not a painter. Well, okay, I'm not a painter, you guys, but the whole point of this is to have fun. And let me tell you ahead of time, it doesn't really matter too much how this turns out because it's all going to be collaged. It's the bottom layer of the collage, you guys, and in the end all you're going to see are the colors and maybe a few elements that are left in the background. But as a whole, just do it. Like, just do what comes to your mind. It's good practice. It helps you learn. It helps you move forward. And in the end, your project is still going to be beautiful. And believe me, stick with me through this. No matter how much it makes you laugh, it all works out in the end. So I decided that because this is like hot air balloons and I'm trying to get it to match my collection, to use stars in the background because I figured that's something I could pull off. And I decided to do, what's the other thing I do? I'm trying to think ahead, and that's the problem. Well, we'll get there when we get there. I make the basic star shape, right? And then I fill it in. And because I need to have some of this yellow in all of the strips I end up cutting, I decide to add quite a bit of stars to the paper. So it's going to look very messy and thrown together. Oh, clouds, that's right. I decided to try to paint some clouds. I figured those were easy enough. Oh goodness. So I'm using a couple colors of pink, a couple colors of yellow, and I'm just creating clouds and stars all over this masterboard, trying to fill in and get some of those colors everywhere, because the next thing we're going to do is cut up this board into our strips. So we want a little bit of those elements on all of them. I mentioned one of the things that I love about this project is the fact that it uses paint, and this is fun, right? Like, painting is fun, even if it's not our strong suit. Let's put it that way. It is not my strong suit. Now, it's not like I've ever tried to learn or take any lessons, and I never took an art class in school because I was terrified. So it's not like I learned how to do it, but it is very relaxing to just be able to play with the watercolors, add the color to the paper. What I am focusing on are mixing my colors around this whole board, like I said. So that is something that I am trying to pay attention to, but in the end, the artistic element really doesn't matter. So there's a lot of freedom in that. And yeah, I'm really excited to just be able to play with the watercolors and create a collage background in this way. And I do encourage you, some of you I'm sure are fantastic with watercolors, and some of you probably are like me, where you're just, gonna play with them because you like them. So for those of you that are like me, just enjoy them. This is fun. So I decided I wanted more pink filled in on more of this blank space. And so I'm like, okay, let's make them shooting stars. So I'm using the pink colors to create more of a shooting star pattern here. I'm going to reach for some more neutral colors just to kind of blend it all together. And then we'll move on after that. Oh yes, I kind of forget about this. little thing here. I decided to put some little curly cues in here with some of this brown color. The cover of the Fearless Journal has that brown hot air balloon, and the inside of it is brown. So I wanted to add a little bit of that coloring around the book page, and I'm just filling it in with these swirlies. And again, this is something else I got better at as I went along. Like, oh, I held my hand differently. I just started doing it differently. So practice really is helpful. I decided to grab this gold paint pen that I have. It's not quite as dramatic as the paint pen I usually love, so I thought I would use this one. I just want to add some gold elements. One of the things that Joey did in hers was add gold watercolor, which was beautiful. So I'm just like, oh yeah, I could make tiny stars. So now I'm making tiny little gold stars all over the page, and I'm really happy I ended up doing that, because that's one of the elements that you see in the final project more than anything else. Okay, so next we are going to be cutting this into strips, and I can't wait because I'm ready to cut up this little piece of artwork here. So I'm cutting it into 2-inch strips. So mine in the end are 2 inches by 8 inches, and then they had a little piece left over. And next we are going to add a layer of washi tape. This is some Maggie Holmes washi that I had from a different collection, and the colors are very similar. So I always need to use a glue stick on my washi, otherwise it doesn't stay. Maybe it's just me. I see people use washi and apparently they don't have issues with it, but I do. So I'm always running my washi over the glue stick, and that just helps it stay. This washi was rather wide, so I wanted to tear it and just add a few pieces on both of the strips. I'm going to complete 2 strips on camera because I knew creating all of them would just take so much time. So, yep, one toward each end of the strip and then one kind of off center. Okay, so the next thing Joey did was add vintage music paper. So that's what I'm going to do here. I had this piece that I added some gesso over. Something I played around with one day. So I'm going to use a piece of this, and I'm going to add 2 pieces to the collage, one toward the top and one toward the bottom. And I'm okay if it hangs over. In fact, that was something she wanted specifically, was pieces hanging over the edge. I'm not making it that dramatic or as dramatic as the first set I made, but I am having them hang over just a little bit. Also, you can see that this is the beginning of covering up those painted backgrounds. Now that we're adding some solid music paper, we're going to begin covering up that pattern in the background, and that's okay. That's actually what we want. In the end, what we really want to see are a blended set of patterns and colors and objects. So yep, this is the beginning of covering up some of that artwork, and I'm telling you, I'm happy about it too. In her video, she added some label embellishments. So here I'm showing you on the ones I created those Tracy Fox labels. That was really fast. Sorry about that. We used some Tracy Fox labels on those, but this is our hot air balloon theme. So I found some of these gold stars in my stash and I'm so excited. I know that one of my friends here on the channel sent me those. So whoever you are, thank you, because they were perfect. I also wanted to show you guys these stickers and the stencil that I found at Dollar Tree. So these hot air balloon stickers and this stencil with the hot air balloon were at Dollar Tree. And so if you're a Dollar Tree shopper and you know you're going to get this collection, keep an eye out for those because you might enjoy using them. Just wanted to show those. Also, the Maggie Home sticker I showed with the hot air balloons, those are going to be my focal point. So that's why I was showing you those. So these gold stars, I decided to add my favorite gold paint pen on the edges just to give them a little more punch. And then I'm placing them again in threes on these collage strips. I decided to use art glitter glue to glue these stars down just because I love the fine tip and I didn't want these to take forever to dry, so I'm switching glues. The next step is adding some stamping. So on the nature ones that I made the first time around, she used a leaf stamp. I used something I had in my stash. I have these hot air balloon stamps. I'll link them down below. It is a Heroes Art set that I picked up on Amazon. So I'll leave that link below. I end up using it just to follow along. Metallic paint smooshing, that is the next thing. So I'm getting out this gold paint. I'm using a Tim Holtz little sponge there because I didn't have anything else, and I guess I was too lazy to go look for a makeup sponge or something. But this is just going to kind of blend everything together in the background, and the gold is super pretty. It matches the stars and everything. So I'm just smooshing it around a little bit. I don't want to cover too much, but I want it to be over the whole strip. The next thing she had done was used a postage stamp and added some more stamping. That is super vintagey, which was her goal. I'm going to use the cloud stamps that came with this hot air balloon, and I love them. I don't know why they started bleeding. You can see that they're bleeding. It's probably the type of ink I used over the vintage paper, possibly, but that's okay because in the end, it's just part of the background and I had fun. So yes, these cloud stamps are super fun. I also had that tiny little bird and I decided to add him as well, even though they kind of end up getting covered up. So the last part is more washi tape. She used a thin washi tape. So in the end, I decide on a couple different thin washies as well. Here I'm trying to pull some of that pink back to the forefront of the collage strip. So I decided to use this pink polka dot washi tape here on this strip. And now I have this skinny little washi that was a Maggie Holmes. I really like that brown color again. All of her sets really can work together most of the time. So this washi was from a different set, but it matches the market paper pad beautifully. So this is the only thing I'm really adding horizontally other than the music paper. Everything's been pretty vertical up to this point, but I like the way it just seems to bring everything together. So I decided to go back and add that again to the other strip as well. Now we are into the final step, which is the focal point. This background is super busy to me, so I wanted to use something to bring in a lot of natural, again, to kind of ground it, bring in some white, basically, except I'm using coffee stain paper, which is much prettier. So I made these banners. I decided on the little banners. I'm using my gold paint pen again to just go around the edges, and I'm going to place them with 2 hot air balloon stickers, like I already mentioned. This punch that I have is a little wide, so I end up cutting a strip of tea stain paper as well and using it for a smaller banner that I'm just going to create by hand. I ended up punching a couple of those stars because I love them, and I thought maybe I would use those in the background, but I don't end up using them this time, so I'll just save those for another project. So here I'm cutting that skinnier banner piece, and you can see if you just cut a little slit right up the middle, then you can join your corners together and get that little triangle notch out of there. So I have my wider banner and my skinnier banner. Adding the gold paint, I'm going to glue those down. And now we are moving on to the focal point, which are those little hot air balloon stickers. In the end, I'm not exactly thrilled with that hot air balloon stamp down at the bottom and the stickers, but it is what it is. It's all good practice and it's all in good fun. And every project isn't going to be a favorite, but it's great for us to practice new things and new ideas. So here I'm just finishing up the banners for that other collage strip, and we'll add those stickers too. I didn't write it down, but the next step was adding a sentiment. So I broke out the Tim Holtz word stickers, always love these, and I'm going to add it to the bottom of the strip. So the first one is called Imperfection is Beautiful. And that's just a reminder to me that even though this project took me out of my comfort zone, I probably would do things in different ways with different processes, but this was all about doing it how somebody else likes to do it. So my projects didn't turn out exactly as I might have liked them to, but it was fun. And then here, say yes to adventures, and that's something else I'm really trying to do more of. So there you have it, you guys. Those are the final collage strips. And if you take a close look, you can see that even though my elementary level painting in the beginning is what it is, I still ended up putting enough color in the background that you can see a little bit of those elements if you really look for them. You can see the colors, and that was really the whole purpose, just to have fun and have those colors in the background. I want to encourage you to go over and check out Joey's channel if you haven't before, and her video. You can get hands on how she creates her strips, and they are beautiful, so you will enjoy them. Also, this Fearless collection, don't forget, will be released on Friday, February 4th at noon Eastern Standard Time. I'll share a video on Thursday of the extra items that will be in the shop that day. And then Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will share a video of the collection itself, so that if you're interested, you have a little bit of time to check out the video before the listings go live in the Etsy shop. So I just want to say thank you for spending some time with me watching this video, watching me flounder a little bit, but try to bring it all together in the end. I'm so grateful for all of you. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.